Well, hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? This is Dr. Carmen Bryant. Thank you so much for being here on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm just coming on because I wanted to talk about the upcoming webinar that I'm going to be doing. That webinar is called Breaking the Chains of the Narcissist Trauma Bond. Breaking the chains of the narcissist trauma bond. Those of you that have been in a narcissistic relationship or a relationship with a narcissist, or even your families, not just situationships, but even in your family, you guys know that you have been trauma bonded to that individual. And it's amazing how a person can become addicted to another human being. How is it possible that the chemicals in your brain, the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, how can that all, work the same way as it does when with drug and alcohol addictions? And how can you be addicted to a person? Well, that's the same question. How can you be addicted to gambling? How can you be addicted to shopping? How can you be addicted to, sex? Well, that's a feeling, but everything else comes with a feeling and emotion too, and a lot of times people are having these, but have created these dysfunctional coping mechanisms. But you have to understand that when you are dealing with a narcissist is basically predatory in behavior. And in being predatory in behavior, that trauma bond starts long before you're actually in the relationship with that narcissist. It usually begins in the process of love bombing, because even in the process of love bombing, when they're love bombing you, they're also devaluing you at the same time that they're love bombing you. Now, I know it's kind of weird, but I thought you said that they idolize. Of course they idolize you. They're the best thing that they had since last night. You're the next good thing next to cheese on Mars, or cheese on the moon. So you're the next thrill, the next high, the next drug that I haven't tried yet. And, but as they're love bombing you, as they're getting, they're getting to know your weaknesses, as they're interrogating you and finding out what your weaknesses are, they're also using these as a weapon. They're using this information that you're providing to them as a weapon to figure out how to stronghold you. And in that trauma bond, to be traumatically bonded to someone, to be able to take you, you are totally dependent on this individual to make you happy. When you're sad, you are dependent on them for your it's almost like your emotional health, but it's not health, but you are dependent on them for everything when it comes to emotions, taking you up, making you smile, they take you up, they take you down, they make you feel good, they take you into this euphoria, then they drop you and they sabotage you, then they abuse you, and then when you're bleeding and oh my gosh, and you're staggering, all of a sudden they come with the crutch and the band-aid and they put this band-aid on you. But in the midst of this trauma bonding, you are being, you are really held hostage. You're being held hostage. And in the midst of being held hostage, you also have to learn how to free yourself. To heal from a narcissistic relationship requires a lot of work from the person that was held hostage by the narcissist. It requires a lot of work from you. And in these series that I'm doing, the breaking the chain of this narcissist trauma bond. I'm going to take you through some series of teaching, some webinars to teach you some things that are holding you hostage. And sometimes you have to realize that you're holding the tool in your hand to cut that chain off of your ankle. It's painful. It's very painful. Yes, it is. But you have the tool in your hand to cut yourself free of the bondage that this narcissist has put you in. And the sad part about it is now, true enough, let's say this, financially, some of you guys have not been able to escape, understandably. You have children, so you're trying to figure out how to escape, with the children. But those of you that have gotten out are still traumatically bonded in your mind. And you have the tool to cut that. But it requires having to give up everything that you thought that you had. And everything that you thought that you had, Tina Turner walked away from everything. She kept her name, but she walked away from everything and started over because she understood the value of that name. She understood that she had brought value to that name. Tina Turner was a name that she created, not she created, but she brought life to. So when she left, all she wanted was her name, remember? And she took that name and she turned that name and she flipped that name and made a name for herself. And Tina Turner is still known as Tina Turner. Anna Mae Bullock, Tina Turner, that stage name, Tina Turner. And she knew the value of that name. You have to know your value. but we're going to break some things off of you. And in this webinar that I'm doing, it's November 11th and November 12th. The webinar is $54.99. So I'm giving you this webinar for $54.99 this week. Contact me this week. Let me know that you're interested in the webinar. It's going to be November 11th and November 12th. It's the same webinar, but some people won't be able to attend on the 11th, so I'm also doing it on the 12th. But I'm gonna give you this offer. It's $54.99 for the webinar. Now, if you want to do the VIP package, I'm going to give you the VIP package for $99.99. $99.99, which is going to include the webinar, and then I'm going to do a coaching session, a group coaching session right after the webinar. And we're going to talk about some of this right here that we're going to be talking about on the webinar. And in this webinar, I'm going to be talking about your denial. You know, how does denial play into, well, some of you know, but how's denial, justification, and the need for clarification play a role in keeping you bound to this narcissist? You know, that you're not able to free yourself because of this cycle that you're going through. Along with that, I'm also going to be talking about cognitive dissonance. Some of you guys know I did a video on cognitive dissonance. You guys have read about cognitive dissonance that keeps you bound in the relationship. The power of emotions. Just how powerful are emotions, and how does this narcissist use these emotions against you? Empathy versus sympathy. Now, I'm not talking about the empath. I'm talking about these emotions called empathy and sympathy. You know, feeling the empathy versus feeling sympathy, you know, and the power of them and how the narcissist uses that, and setting boundaries. So when this one webinar is over with, I'm going to have another one, but when this webinar is over with, you're going to be able to set some boundaries for yourself, and you're going to be able to see some of the things that have held you hostage. You know, you're going to have that aha moment. So I want you to join me. So the webinar is $54.99. I'm going to give it to you for $54.99. If you don't get it within this week, I want you to email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Let me know you are interested. I had a few people that have registered for it. We have some people that have registered for it. But I want you guys to come out. The webinar, $54.99. I want you guys to register for that webinar. And if you want to do the VIP, which includes coaching, where I'm actually having conversations with you, I'm going to be talking to you. I'm not going to just be teaching, but I'm going to be talking to you. It's $99.99 for both. So both of them will be 2 hours. So there's a webinar, and then you're going to have the coaching right afterward, where I'm going to have personal conversations with you for $99.99, and that's 2 hours. Now the webinar is going to be 1 hour, and that's $54.99. You guys come and join me for that webinar. That's a nominal fee. You're not going to find anything. You're not going to, you know, come on, y'all. Not for what you guys are getting. I want you guys to come on out there. Come and support me. Come on out here and see what I have to say. $54.99 for the webinar, $99.99 for both the VIP, which is the webinar, and the coaching right afterward, where I get to come and talk to you. We're going to talk about this, exactly what I taught about, and see how to apply it to you. And we're going to find out personally from each one of you in the coaching, figure out where you are and how to apply this to your current situation. So come on out there. $54.99 for the webinar, $99.99 for the VIP package, which includes the coaching directly afterward, where you're going to have talk with me, yours truly, Dr. Carmen Bryant. Hope to see you there. Make sure you register, drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Thank you guys so much, and I'll be back. Give me a day or two. Let me look at my schedule tomorrow. I should be able to make another video tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to be discussing, does a narcissist recognize another narcissist? Good discussion, huh? Does a narcissist recognize another narcissist? Does game recognize game? What you think?